Hola amigos, Doug Cameron here at the site of our Inglewood project in Austin, Texas. And I want to show you all about what I call Dens soffits today. Right here, this is your soffit material. It's all white. There are no expansion joints, as you can see, all the way from here, all the way to here on this nice, big, beautiful carport. It's a sea of white, right? So how do we do that? That's what I want to explain to you today. What we did is we started out with some Densglass material and we put that up there very similarly to how we would put up drywall. And the Densglass, the reason we chose that is because it's fiberglass backed on both sides. That's removing the paper element, which can do poorly in high humid environments or outside. So that's gone. Fiberglass, gypsum, both of them can handle the elements. So we've got that up against our joists. Then we needed to figure out a way to seam that together. So we used a fiberglass mesh tape, ran that on our seams, and then we used drywall compound. Georgia Pacific, whom is the producer of Densglass, actually has a whole recommendation chart if you're gonna use their materials in various formats, soffits being one of them. So I referenced that and then we kind of tweaked it to our own accordance as well. So ran the mesh tape in the mud. They're gonna recommend that you use a non-sandable mud. So they do have those, some of them are called 90-minute. Do your own research on that. And then we ended up using a corner bead. So this is where we had to use the corner bead right here. You can actually see the corner bead showing up a little bit. I would say that on a scale compared to like stucco soffits, these are gonna be a little bit more affordable and they're gonna have a few more imperfections, though they are not large imperfections. So anyway, we put our metal L bead up, which I just showed you up there, and we capped that edge of the soffit material, right, of our Densglass. We added the seam tape to the seams, the fiberglass, we didn't use paper, and we mudded it, and again, they're gonna recommend that you're using a non-sandable mud to do that. Then we full coated the entire surface. Georgia Pacific, again, is gonna recommend using a non-sandable mud for that, so you gotta be really good at getting it smooth. Or you can do what we did and we actually used a sandable mud, and we did sand it and we got it totally smooth. Then we threw on our primer coat, which is very important because we're outside, and we used an exterior grade primer. We used 2 coats, and then we came back with our finish paint. In this case, we used a low luster white from Benjamin Moore. I think it was Regal Select, and it just giving you just an inkling of sheen, and no more, no less, and that's what we did in result. So now to finish out the fascia detail, you see this beautiful shadow line, one of my favorite details on this house, and that was a collaboration with us and the architect Mark Odom's studio on coming up with this gap. And we came up with what I'm calling a 3/4 inch gap right in between the fascia and the soffit material. And so what that is, guys, is that is a sub fascia underneath there, which is, in this case, I believe was a structural fascia. And then we actually just left that gap. We brought that little edge piece of the L material and we left that 3/4 inch gap, and you could kind of see up in there that it was wood inside. And then at the end of all that, guys, all we did was came back and we got a little paintbrush and we just painted it black inside, and it looks like a really killer crisp shadow line. And I want you to pan down on this whole soffit, check it out. Again, no expansion joints here. There will be recommendations many times to do expansion joints every 30 feet or so. And then lastly, guys, we vented this soffit. So this is what our vent looks like. This is that perforated aluminum. You could also do this out of perforated stainless. And this is venting both our vertical walls and our soffit. And that's just a safety belt suspender measure that I really like. I've talked with the top building scientists in the world about when you're doing a sealed wall space, whether or not you need to, a sealed envelope, whether you not need to actually vent your soffits or not. And I have heard time after time the answer being no, but my own personal experience has lent to me my answer, and my answer is always vent those soffits. It's just a smart thing to do. So these are, my friends, what I call Dens soffits. They're extremely popular. Lots of people love them in this contemporary market because they're so sleek, so smooth, and they're pretty darn cost effective. And you're getting to see the imperfections along with me. They're pretty minimal, and I would definitely do them again. Adios, amigos.